Well, a lot to say with this one, but I guess at the heart of it is Aaron Smith-Levin, and I usually try to do some introduction with him, but here it really won't be that necessary because we can just say he's a YouTuber who was hooked up with Remini for a long time, as well as Render, but they had a falling out last year, and Remini sort of stayed in the background. She wasn't very active in picking sides, but apparently now she did, and Aaron is very upset that she is not picking his side. Not that anybody would pick his side because his life has been filled with scandals for a very, very long time. So this video was just very curious. It's his attempt to kind of just do a bait and switch. So I think most people would say that the Danny Masterson case shows the explicit evil of the church, and it's a good thing that the Jane Does, and I'm going to have to name one of them, not because I care, but because this person has been very public, and Aaron has been very public with her, Bixler, although the other Jane Does are a little shady themselves. But Bixler is very clearly much more explicit and much more, what's the word, active in trying to present herself as this, I don't know what you want to call it, truth teller, calling out the evils and corruptions of Hollywood. And for the record, I made clear that I want to work in Hollywood. So I'm not blind that there are many, many scandalous people in Hollywood. Not all of them. Some people are very decent, like Zack Snyder or the late Doug Scott Kramer. So I want to be careful not doing a broad brush. So that's her persona, is calling out the hypocrisy of Hollywood. And now they're focused on Ramini as another false prophet here who apparently was not really the noble anti-Scientologist we thought she was. Well, obviously, the problem here is I never really bought that Ramini is a hero. I know that many anti Scientologists have hidden agendas. One of them is Aaron Smith Levin. So this whole video was just really, really bizarre, where he is pretending that he, for decades, was active in bringing Danny Masterson to justice, even though he was not. Like a lot of anti Scientologists, he started to care about the Danny Masterson case when it became popular. Before then, didn't really care. And ironically, one of the people who was reporting on Danny Masterson very early on, Tony Ortega, he now despises and continually attacks. So the whole video is a real weird exercise in revisionist history, but with very little evidence. And in just one little section, Aaron tried to explain what he's up to, but that does not make any sense.
Fluid
It is just
movement.
radically incoherent.
There ain't no hierarchy. Nobody cares who gets along with each other. We can all walk and chew gum at the same time. Okay, let's see here. In Aaron's latest effort to undermine the ex-Scientology whistleblowers. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing. It's only reportedly Leah Remini's lawsuit that's in trouble. The other lawsuits brought by the Jane Does that Leah Remini is about to throw major shade at are the ones actually having a lot of success in their lawsuit.
So he's really trying to say two things. Let me try to be fair. So he's trying to say that a lot of his videos are not focused on these, I guess you want to say, dispatches from the Civil War occurring among the ex-Scientologists. So for the most part, his videos are devoted to making fun of Tom Cruise and or David Miscavige, ergo to label him as whatever, a hater, someone burning bridges or backstabbing people is just not true because he doesn't really devote that many videos to these topics. Well, one, that's a little bit false because his friends do the heavy lifting. So Nora, Serge, and unfortunately now even Jenna, they'll do these videos attacking Mike Rinder or Ramini or someone else he doesn't like. So for him to say, my channel here does not even do that many videos. Yeah, you don't have to. Your friends are doing that and you promote your friends. You even promote the content where they are attacking people. You've even done that explicitly. You had a conversation with Nora devoted to attacking a critic. So, not making any sense trying to play with the numbers saying, guys, it's only 15% of my videos that are hater videos. Right. But then we're excluding the other videos from Rabbit, Surge, whatever. So he's being very, very, very deceptive with the numbers. But it is true if you look at his channel alone, right? Well, it's not that many videos, but he's working with other people. So Doesn't make any sense. But then let's look at those videos and that content. What is he saying and what is he doing? Well, if you look at this video, it was astonishing because he put this on his community post that Sunny, an ex-Scientologist who suffered terribly, she was forced to have an abortion in the Sea Org. Somehow she is, wait for it, a sexual predator. Now, obviously, we know he's joking, and this is just meant to be what it is. It's a false accusation. He presents zero evidence that Sonny is a sexual predator. He just calmly puts out that a victim of the Sea Org is a sexual predator. Why? Why did he do that? Well, as far as I could tell, and as stupid as it was, I did try to verify his story. Not surprisingly, there wasn't any evidence of her being a sexual predator. So let's get to the punchline. What was he up to? Well, apparently, Sonny made the mistake of trying to reach out to Jenna, who she knew in the Sea Org, and Jenna is Aaron's current girlfriend. Now, don't even ask me what Aaron's romantic status is. For a while, he was married, but he had an open marriage, which apparently only he knew about because he was telling his other girlfriends who he was going out with that, oh, I have an open marriage, but those girlfriends have verified. They didn't know that. They thought that Heather, his current wife, or are they separated? I don't know, agreed to this open marriage, but we don't even know that. So it's just very, very confusing. But in any case, Jenna is his current girlfriend, and Sonny was just trying to warn her that Aaron may not be the nice, cuddly teddy bear he presents himself as. And for just doing that, one woman communicating to another woman, Aaron got very angry. Now, it is true that the message that Sonny sent to him is pretty nasty and pretty vile, but there's also another problem. It's totally factual. Nothing she said in that message is false. Almost every single statement can be verified. So, not clear Aaron understands how law works. You can't do a libel and or slander case based on facts. If I call Aaron Smith-Levin a liar, an adulterer, etc., 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 someone guilty of stalking and harassment, that's not libel, that is not slander, because I can provide massive evidence for those statements. I would have to say allegedly on this or that case. For instance, with the SBTV Foundation, which he runs, it seems pretty clear they're committing financial fraud. That I would have to say allegedly there are charges of fraud, because I don't know for sure. But there are many things we do know for sure with Aaron, and he is guilty of this, this, and this. He's even legally guilty. We even have video footage of him being guilty of various crimes. And yet, when Aaron does this moaning and groaning that people are calling out behavior, which we have evidence for, he still gets angry and says, I'm going to threaten a lawsuit. You can't threaten a lawsuit based on facts. That's just basic American law 101. So either Aaron is really that stupid, he doesn't know what he's doing, or he does kind of know what he's doing, so he's just doing a lot of distraction tactics. And the distraction tactic of this week is Bixler, no like Remini. I know like Remini. Remini bad. Okay? Right. Well, we can agree that Remini is very inconsistent. I could agree the Aftermath TV show was mostly propaganda. I can agree that Mike Rinder is not exactly the superhero he pretends to be. None of that shows that Aaron is trustworthy or that Bixler is trustworthy. All we have is that Bixler and the other Jane Does have some credibility regarding Danny Masterson. He's in jail. I think the case is pretty tricky. When you get more and more into it, it's a much more shaky case than people think it is. But I think there's enough evidence that Danny Masterson should be in jail. However, are they owed that money? That's actually a big question. I'm not sure they are owed. Nevertheless, the church has some responsibility, so they should pay a legal price. But it's not necessary. They've had their day in court, and even the Church of Scientology was found to do some despicable things there. Okay, well, they should be prosecuted. But technically speaking, in terms of justice, they have what they wanted. They got a fair day in court. There is a conviction. That should be the end of it. But instead, they've been trying to motivate people to get into these revenge crusades against this person or that person. They have their conviction. That should be the end of it. Should they be, or are they entitled to further financial settlement? And should they be owed this kind of celebrity status as truth telling, whatever, media watchdogs or whatever? No, none of that is necessary. None of that is vital. None of that may even really hurt the church in the long run. Again, the church is pretty rich, so they can handle settling these lawsuits. The question is, will the movement of anti-Scientology benefit? That I don't know. Again, if you just have somebody who doesn't have a lot of credibility outside the Danny Masterson case, and they're putting out a lot of lies and propaganda, that may do a lot of damage in the long run as well as the short term. I'm not so sure Aaron is even thinking through saying, well, we all must support Bixler. Why? Why must we all do it? And you didn't do it. For many years, you didn't support her at all. You didn't care. It's just a very contradictory, very hypocritical presentation of what is happening. Again, I have my suspicions about Rinder and Remini, but Aaron voicing these suspicions is pretty stupid. He just doesn't have credibility to raise these questions, but he's going to raise them. And apparently, he expects his audience to be dumb enough to be like, well, Aaron and Bixler, yeah, they're true, pure superheroes. Based on what evidence? Well, because they said so. Right. That doesn't sound like a cult at all. Doesn't sound like cult thinking or cult rhetoric at all. Anyway, so it's just Aaron doing more propaganda for himself in the Church of Arontology. Give it a try if you have a strong enough stomach, because it was pretty sickening, and I literally wanted to vomit several times because it was just really that stupid. But there we are.